Mr. 2020 and the golden one dropping wrestling talk. Wrestling adventure storytelling, no fake news here. Yo.
Good day, everyone. How's it going out there in podcast viewing and listening land? Welcome back.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, Mike?
Just living the good life. I'm off today at work.
Just want to let everybody know I got the original Four Horsemen t-shirt on today, baby.
Hey, guess what? I got the best tag team in the world, the Good Brothers.
Of their era, they are the best tag team. We got to go by eras, remember?
It doesn't matter.
Too many greats, bro.
Look, I'm saying they're the best tag team ever. Who's going to say anything different, Mr. and Mrs. Anonymous?
Well, they did send in a question this week. So
that's fine.
Or
if I get one next week now.
I don't know if it was this week or not, because like I said, we're backlogged. We're backlogged, and we got quite a few, actually. I'm able to get 10 today.
10?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you can still count that high.
I'm one of the best referees ever of my era. Let's do that, of my era.
Well, I can name a few. That's a whole lot better, but
yeah, you can also eat a bowl of something else too, my man. Anything going on? Anything else going on in your private life that's not too private we can talk about, or because we don't talk about everything on here that's private. We keep it private.
No, we don't. No. Let's see. We watched last Sunday. We watched the Daytona 500 and everything. So NASCAR's getting picked back up. But I'm getting ready for baseball season. Hopefully, like my Dallas Cowboys and football will do something really good soon. Hopefully, my Cincinnati Reds will do something good. So, hopefully.
Nice.
And then, of course, like the Salem Red Sox, they changed their names to that weird name that you showed me that one time. Like, they changed their identity.
Yeah.
Well, the Lynchburg Hillcats, they just did the same exact thing.
What's their name?
It's like the Lynchburg Howlers or something.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
The story behind it sounds good, but it's more like a cartoonish type thing, and like the name is okay. It's not the worst. I think Salem did that one, but I can't remember what it was because it was so
bad. Some kind of yak.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yard yak? No.
But the Hillcats, I don't understand why they changed their name and everything right after they won the Carolina League Championship last year.
Yeah.
But they go through identity changes just like we did, a couple months ago. So, I mean, it's just part of evolution, I guess.
Let me see what the Salem Ridge Yaks. Yak. And there's a story behind it and what exactly a Ridge Yak would be.
Yeah.
So if anybody's curious, I'm not looking all that up right now. I just want to tell you the team name. You can go to Google search like the rest of us and figure out what that is. But yeah, it's like so stupid. And because I went to some of them Salem Red Sox games. I know you used to go to the Hillcat games. Yeah, up in Lynchburg. And I'm not a avid baseball fan, but I'm a baseball fan. I can. I hate to say it this way. I can live with it or without that. But I am a fan. I do like to go to live games. They're much more better to me live than they are on television. And the reason that is, I think years ago, because I'm an Atlanta Braves fan first and foremost. Always have been. Turner guy, right? So it's kind of cool. I got to work for Turner Sports under WCW Banner and all that years ago. But anyway, big fan of Atlanta Braves. And I watched one game. I swear to you, Mike, it went 12 friggin' innings. I watched it. Me and my wife's waiting to go out to have dinner and a movie this evening. This was back in 2004 or 5. It was a long game. And by the time we got done with the game, it was time to go to the movie. So, needless to say, we had a really late dinner that night. Wife was a little unhappy and very hungry by the time we ate. But after that, I never watched another baseball game fully on TV. I think it killed me. But anyway, my second baseball team, I know you mentioned yours is the Cincinnati Reds. My second baseball team, because I have two, would be the Tampa Bay Rays. I picked them up just like I did Tampa Bay Buccaneers, living in Tampa for over a decade before the first time became fans of their sports teams because they're a very passionate area for their teams. And I hate to say it, but I jumped on that bandwagon, right? So, but here we are today. Back in Florida, still a Buccaneers fan, though. And Panthers second. And I know you are a diehard Cowboys fan. We talk about football. Cowboys all the way.
Cowboys.
Yeah. But I know a lot of people love the Cowboys, so I respect that. And to me, you know, and this may be stupid to a lot of people, I don't really take it that serious when it comes down to it at the end of the day. I do support my teams, but if they lose, they lose. I don't go on a tirade online and talk crap about the players and talk bad about the league or, you know, their affiliate, whatever, the coaching staff and the owners. I don't have time for that. But if they had a bad season, your team has a bad season. It's life. And they're getting paid millions of dollars to have these bad seasons, right? So who the hell cares? I ain't getting that $1 million a year.
I wish I was.
Yes, sir. Me too. Give me $14 million for 1 year of work where I'm at. I'm out for the rest of my life.
You got that right. So do you remember the Salem Red Sox when they was the Salem Avalanche?
I do not remember that because I wasn't living in the area at the time. But I heard about it, yes.
Yeah, when I was a kid, we had a field trip in school, and we went to a Salem Avalanche game. So,
now, was it a different stadium? They played somewhere different or the same stadium?
Might have been the same one. I think they just changed the name later on.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. Somebody told me there's a field right behind the main stadium there, right?
Yeah.
Somebody told me they used to play on it before they got the stadium. The teams did. Is that true or not?
They might have. I don't know. I was a kid.
Okay.
I really don't remember.
Yeah, because I hear so many different stories. Oh, they played over here at one time when the team was called this or that, right? And but they've had was there a team before the Avalanche? Did they have a team before the
Avalanche? Yeah, I can't remember. Somebody was talking about it on Facebook.
No, you know, it's sort of like the hockey team up there too. They've had different reincarnations of the hockey teams over the years, you know, because when I was a kid in the 80s, I did say 80s, we had what? We had oh man, maybe my train of thought. The Lancelots, remember the over in Vinton? Yeah, they played there at the big hockey rink, and that was always cool. They also had independent wrestling there too, man, and that was Eclipso. Which in that area, a lot of people call him an indie legend because he ran so many shows there and he's so widely known. You know, he had Wally McDaniel in his shows and Sandy Scott was always around, different guys like that, Johnny Weaver over the years. And, you know, but anyway, that's enough about small town hockey league and baseball talk, I guess. So, we haven't done a question one in quite a while. And partly to do with I'm real bad about checking emails. I'll admit that. Not only am I bad about checking personal emails, but at work, I'm bad about checking work emails, right? I'm always bad about it. They're like, did you see this? Nope, didn't see it. Or it may be the occasional, oh, yeah, I remember that, but I have to go back and read it again because I forgot all about it, type thing just to cover your butt. So I'm covering my butt here. Oh, I remember they were in there, but I had to go back to get them. So, so here we are. We got quite a few questions today, Mike. And I believe we're going to have a good episode from these questions. I skimmed through the questions, and you just sent me some. Wow. Okay, nice. This is a nice messenger, Mike. That's a really great view. I just want to know one thing. I'm going to go ahead and ask. The girl with the pink top, is that Tori Wilson?
I don't know. WrestleMania 19.
And I'm going to say with the long legs on the bottom getting her butt smacked would be Tori Wilson. No,
I have no idea.
The tall girl.
I don't know.
Hancock. Remember her, Miss Hancock?
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that's the two girls there. Nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice way to start out the podcast, Mike. Okay.
The Good Brothers sent that to me.
Did they?
Yeah.
That would not
Yeah.
surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good.
I'm part of the group and everything, so.
Yeah.
So they sent it to me.
Right. Well, I think one of the questions will kind of interact with you saying you're part of their group in a minute. Okay. One of the questions.
Okay.
Because I told you I skimmed through them. I didn't want
Oh,
being the guy that skimmed through them. I know what most of them are going to say, but you don't know anything. So
I don't know nothing.
This is going to be really fun for you for a change.
I don't think so.
Huh?
I don't think it's going to be that fun.
Okay. Well, we're going to start off.
But hold on.
Yeah.
The questions, these questions are sponsored by Cowboy Revolution. Cowboy Revolution, you can get shirts, hats, tumblers, stickers, decals, bags, and all you do is use the promo code JamieT123 and save 15%. And remember, the questions today is sponsored by CowboyRevolution.com.
That's right, CowboyRevolution.com. And Mike explained it to you. It's for the veterans. He explained saving that 15% off at the end there. But we're also going to let you know how these questions came about. And they came about because you can send it to the email that's across the screen right now. And if you're listening and not watching, we will explain the email to you once again. It's wrestleref123@gmail.com. That's WRESTLEREF123@gmail.com. And send the questions, comments in, and we will have them on the show just like the questions or comments that we are having this very day. So, with that being said, Mike, let's get started. So, question one, and I'm gonna read the whole question out like they wrote it. Okay, this question is for Jamie, so that'd be me. Everybody knows that. Just curious, throughout your referee career, has there been anything that you regret you didn't do? And that comes from Jonathan. And Jonathan, well, anything I did. So it's kind of a question where I can say, is it something that I didn't get to do, such as work at a WrestleMania, right? Referee a match in Madison Square Garden. If we're asking in that context, it'd be something like that, right? I really don't know which context you're asking, or is it something? I guess that's how you mean it. Regret you didn't do. So I guess I would say being able, when I worked, being contracted by the WWE, being able to go to New York and work in Madison Square Garden, the greatest wrestling arena in the Northeast, of course, but it's the world's most famous arena on the other hand. So that would be one. Actually performing at a WrestleMania, that would be a really big thing for me because I'm a big wrestling fan from every wrestling company there was. I got to do Starrcade. I've been at TNA's big major events, did them, but I never got a WrestleMania. So that would be it. If it's something that I could change and do differently, if we go that route, I would have to say leaving Nashville, Tennessee the first time I never lived there again. Leaving Nashville, Tennessee when I lived there. When Bert said something big's happening next year, something, and he never written details. He said, you need to stick around, blah, blah, blah. And he wanted me back on his shows because we had not really a falling out, but he let me go and he sold the company to somebody else like Bert always did to regroup himself. And then he came back in and started promoting again under another name. And he wanted me a part of his shows. And by that point, I'd moved on. I had a little bit of heat in my head from the situation. It was losing a job from WCW and Bert within the same year. And I had moved into Tennessee for this, right? So it was kind of let down. So I didn't want nothing to do with wrestling at that time. And so I walked away to get my head clear. And before you know it, I moved back to North Carolina, to Charlotte area. And then next thing you know, June of 2002, TNA opens, and that was the big thing happening in Nashville, TNA. If I only would have been told, kayfabe this, which I was a good kayfaber because I know what that means, and I did it in the business all the time. Kayfabe this, Jamie. TNA's opening up. It's ran by the Jarretts. It's ran by blah, blah, blah. And you're going to be, I'm going to be involved with this. You should stay on with me. We'll get you on with TNA. Maybe things would have changed differently, but it is what it is. And that's a regret right there. And I think that's the only biggest wrestling regret. Something that I didn't do right myself personally that I regret. That's the biggest one. But anything that I regret I didn't do, I really can't regret I didn't work WrestleMania, really, but I do regret that I never got to. Or, work in Madison Square Garden. But I have no control over that. So that's how I'm going to answer that question. So we can touch a lot of different areas just to make sure I hit the focal point. Just to make sure I hit the focal point. So that's the question. That's the answer. And there we are. So there's some more questions here, Mike. But I'm going to skip to one to you so it ain't me just talking continuously. This one is actually directed to you. Okay? Wow. Let me find it on my list because I tried to put it out here where it's a lot easier for me to read. Okay. So, Mike, are you ready for your question?
I think so.
It says this question for Mike: have you ever thought of actually being in the wrestling business, specifically a wrestler?
Honestly, I thought about it, but I don't think I'm ever going to. Had a couple of knee problems up in playing high school football and stuff, so I probably can't. If I'll probably be in a lot of pain if I did that. Do I think I could do it? Yeah, I can go to the Boogie Woogie Man School and get trained there, just like our good buddy Yellow Man and stuff. I think it's always a possibility. They always said never say never. So, I mean, it's a possibility, but you also got to think in May I'll be 35. So, getting up there in age, I don't want to do it like Ric Flair in the 70s and stuff. So, like I said, never say never. Who knows? Maybe it'd be a show where I could train for, maybe do one match or whatever. But the chance of that, probably not a good one. But you never close the door on any type of wrestling. Maybe do commentary for a show. I can do that. I can go in and try to help out with the show. I'll be down for that. But as a wrestler, this time in my life, maybe not so much.
That is actually, a really good answer.
Well, I like if the opportunity came to me when I first got out of high school and stuff, I would have taken that chance, honestly. But now, almost 35 and stuff, the whole being a wrestler, I would love to and everything, but I just don't know. That window's closed very quickly on when you get upper in age and stuff.
Sure.
And wrestlers even say that.
Yeah.
So I doubt that's going to happen. But if it's a show and everything, and I can actually train for it and stuff, maybe really do one show.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll probably be down for it and stuff. But to do 2 to 10 matches, no, probably not going to happen. One,
so maybe a one-off.
Working it, yeah, and then maybe doing an actual helping out, doing commentary or doing something in a show to help out, the independent wrestling and stuff. Because because we love independent wrestling here. I mean, I
Yeah.
would do it to just to help them out and stuff. Like I'd be down for it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, all I gotta say to that is, so never say never. You're 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 up for a one-off, maybe, right? To say, hey, I got trained enough, to do a pro wrestling match. I got in the ring. I did this. Um, because that's a big accomplishment in itself to get training, right? And just to get in there. If you're trained by the right people, of course, there are some jack-offs that expose the business, but if trained by the right person, even if it's a one-off, whether you're 35, 45, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I think that would still be an accomplishment to say, hey, I got this training from this reputable trainer. I got in the ring and, did this. And that's still a bucket list. That'd still be a bucket list for a lot of people, even just getting the training by the right people and just learning about the business is something to also think about. But that's a cool answer, man. And that's a cool question. And then who sent that? Jonathan, I think it was. Travis, Jonathan. Where am I at? No, Jonathan sent my question. Let's see who sent yours. Travis. So it is Travis. So Travis, thank you for sending that question in. Sorry to get your name lost there in the shuffle, but I'm trying to keep up here with these things. You know how I get. So this one we can both answer this next question, Mike, to keep the process rolling here and having us both answer questions, of course. I said all being one-sided. When are you going to have another guest on? I got to read this right. I really enjoyed the episode with Yellow Man. It was interesting to hear about someone's career that had not even heard of until the podcast. I do go to independent shows in my area. It is always cool to hear about independent wrestling and guys and girls we don't know about. Also, have you gave any thought to bring on any past friends or coworkers from WCW days? Okay. So I'll answer part of this right now. I'll answer the WCW part, and I'll let you help me answer the part about having guests on in the future, how we're approaching that, right? So, yes, I gave a lot of thought to that. I have talked to a couple ex-referees of WCW. They're interested in coming on. We just have not set it up yet. A couple ex-WCW wrestlers I've talked to, but I don't want to give any names out in case we can't deliver on it to, say, hey, they said they'd have this guy on, but he's not coming on. So, yeah, I've been in contact with a couple of people that I keep in contact with, that is. Ones I haven't seen in years and years, probably highly unlikely that we give them on, but who knows? You never say never, because pro wrestling's kind of like you could not talk to nobody in 10 years, but you see them in 10 years, and it's like, oh, my God, brother, how you been? And it's like you left off where you were, So never say never about that, but yes, I have thought about it. I have thought the idea around, and I've talked to a couple, and some are already gung-ho. I have two former other WCW referees, such as myself, that want to come on. I just have not set it up. So I do know that much, and I've talked to a couple other ex-WCW wrestlers that a lot of you haven't heard from in years, probably. Or if you have, it's on other podcasts, and I don't keep up with all that. So, but yeah, it's going to happen. It was just we got to get it together and set it up. And I have not went through all the formalities of making that work. Now, as in having other guests on and independent guests, yes. And I know Mike's big about that too, because he said something about, we love independent wrestling around here. We talk about it all the time. We talk about that more. We use WWE, AEW, TNA. You get it. So that will happen. I'm glad you liked Yellow Man being on. It was a good, informative conversation. I'm glad it's being that you didn't know about him. That's the whole idea, to get these guys out there where people that don't know about these guys will know about them. You may have missed him in your area. You say I'm assuming you're not from the area where Yellow Man works in Virginia and North Carolina and stuff, but You say you go to independent shows, but just say you went to independent shows and missed Yella. We gave you an opportunity to learn about him and go watch him. And that's the whole idea here is to reach out and give back to the independent groups where the guys can go out and, get more recognized and more eyes and exposure is the whole idea. So I'm glad you enjoyed the podcast, and let Yellow Man know. He has lots of social media feeds, so hit him up as well. Let him know. Mike, anything to add to this?
Yeah, we're really hoping, and we're gonna get more independent wrestlers on here for sure. It's just how somebody lives in a different country, James, in Florida, and then me up in Virginia. Like it's hard to try to find like one kind of connects us all and everything. We kind of get the right people for like the right point of the show. Yellow Man, like he's a great dude. Listen to his music too. He's got that one song. I sent it to James, the Boogeyman Drip, like he was talking about, like a spin off of like the Ric Flair Drip or whatever. That was a good song. So I listen to his songs at work and everything. So yeah, we're gonna have more people. Uh, like I said, independent people. They do a lot of shows throughout the weeks and stuff. Like Pure Pro Wrestling, when they're rescheduling all their stuff, they have like a show like all over the place in Virginia, like this whole month and everything. So you gotta give us a little bit of time. We will have more people on here. But we just talked about it a little bit this morning before we started the podcast. Get a couple people on, so it's gonna happen, and hopefully sooner than what y'all think.
Absolutely. That's going to be a new focus on the podcast, and it is not going to be every week, as you see. It may be just one guest a month or one guest every other month. We don't know where we're going with this yet, with the guest part, but we do know we're going to incorporate that more down the road. And how about y'all give us guest suggestions? I'm not saying we can always deliver, but we can at least look into it and try to get, whoever's interested in listening to them. So that's always an option too. Please let us know. That's what that email address is for them comments and suggestions right there. If you don't have questions, comments, suggestions, whatever, send me a good recipe. I do like to eat a good meal. So maybe that's something you could send us. We don't care. Just send us something and let us know what you think about the podcast overall. That's the main thing.
Yeah, if you're not up in our areas like Virginia, North Carolina, all the way down to Florida, and you're say like on the West Coast or in the middle and stuff, tell us who your independent people are too. We love it. If they're over there, we might not even heard of them ourselves.
Yeah.
So just leave a comment, like you said, who y'all want us to, and we'll see what we can do if it's all possible.
Yes, absolutely. So far, not bad questions. We're rolling along here. Mike might become a pro wrestler now. We don't know what's going to happen with this. He might make his debut in the Bedford market in the near future. We don't know. As long as he gets that Virginia license, bro. If you work in Virginia, you got to have that license.
Yeah, never say never.
Never say never. Hey, you could be a guest referee. I mean, something.
Could be.
Yeah. And we can get you in there somehow, guys. And trust me, if that happens, we may put the whole episode of the footage on here and we not even talk that week. It'd just be a video played of Mike, whatever you did.
Yeah, it'd definitely be a blooper reel.
I think it'd be interesting myself.
It would be.
So, Mike, we talked because I told you I skimmed through the emails earlier. Remember, I told you we got an email from someone we love, right? Someone that loves us. And guys, no, we're not going there yet. Don't get excited because I'm sure some of this email is gonna, if it don't make me upset, it's gonna make Mike upset, and one of us is probably gonna say things. Well, hopefully not that we regret, but I hope we don't. But this is a question. This is a good question. I love it. We're gonna go with this one first. Well, several first before we get to that one. This question, I don't know who it came from, and I'm not reading your email out online. I don't want to do that to you. So I'm just going to read the question. So they're curious, Mike. When do we think we're ever going to go live with the podcast? So when they watch it, they can send their questions in live. This comes from a listener from day one when Julia was on the show. Thank you. Wow. Well, I'm glad that we at least have one listener from day one. I was always curious where you were. Anyway, I'll joking aside. That is something we have actually talked about as well. The whole idea of going live, to me, is here's this. It's a good and bad thing, right? Because let's just be honest. If you get really mad, you can't edit out what you say. And there may have been a podcast in the past that happened, and it's not, and I'm going to go ahead and say it came from me. So that's what I'm trying to work on now and I know being in a public forum and in a professional atmosphere in the world that we need to keep professionalism. And I'm trying to work on that instead of getting upset at times and going off on a subject and then have to edit a podcast that takes more time before we can even send it out to you listeners and viewers and so forth. Right. So with that being said, for me, I want to do it. Yes. I would be up for it. I don't know. What do you think, Mike? You think we should try in the future to go live or just leave it the way we got it? What do you think?
I think we should.
Okay.
I think it'd be a fun episode for sure. Like you said, it was a podcast where James and believe it or not, I tried to stop him a few times on that, and he didn't listen. So usually it'd be the opposite. Usually he'll tell me to stop and stuff. But as soon as we could figure that part out, keeping James' emotions in check, then I'm down for it. So yeah, I think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
We just got to have the right timing and make sure James has like tough skin where nothing's gonna get under his skin.
That's right.
So, but who knows? It might be coming soon.
Yeah. Okay.
But thank you for listening since day one.
Yeah. That's amazing. I hope there's more.
Before I was a co-host, I was listening from day one too. So it's really good that we still got fans from day one and everything. Knows that we're not messing up too much on here. So I think we're doing good then. So thank you.
I agree. I appreciate each and every listener. If we don't thank you enough, I know we open up the show most of the time. We thank you guys for coming back each and every week, but sincerely, it means a lot. And to even hear that you get an email from one person that says they've been there since day one is pretty friggin' cool. Now, if I got an email from 600, 700, 1,000 of you, even better. But you know what? We got the one. I can live with that. And I know there's more of you. There's probably some of you that never comment. And we want you to. We want you to send in your questions and comments like we keep saying. And then we keep the email address up there today for you. So you know this episode's about questions, comments, and concerns. And right there it is. We're reminding you, if you did not do it and did not get on this episode, you can still do it. The total idea is if we get enough of these questions in, we will do one a month. I know you said something about going live and doing it that way. Well, the questions would be live, right? So we wouldn't have to do an email address sent in. Maybe that's a new step for us. Maybe we'll go live just with questions. And in the future, we don't have to worry about looking at the email address. But who knows? But right now, this is where we're at with it, and this is how we get our information. So I do totally look forward to hearing from each and every one of you out there for more of these podcasts or video cast. I heard the other day that when you do it video, it's called video cast, and the audio one's called podcast. And people started arguing online on this podcast. It's like a message board on Facebook, right? And it got out of control, so I got out of it. I was like, why y'all arguing? Who cares? It's a podcast regardless, right? It's a video podcast. It's an audio podcast. It's a damn podcast, guys. Calm down. But these people are arguing at like crazy people. So I just left it, and I never even made a comment. So I left it alone, Mike. I did the right thing. I turned the other cheek.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Well, we might be close to that live thing after all now.
Yep. Made my anger management course happen that day.
He's only failed anger management 6 times in the last year.
That might be a true statement.
and the year just started, and he already failed it 6 times.
Yeah.
So.
Not good, Mike. Shouldn't tell everybody everything. I thought we started off today, and we said we wouldn't go too personal. Damn it.
Oh, no.
Did.
No.
Okay.
Nothing's off the limits.
Okay. So we got another question here. Let's see. It says, what happened in TNA that you left? Did you just quit, or did they release you? Mike P. Well, Mike, I appreciate your questions, but we have talked about this subject in the past quite a bit. So you may be a new listener or something, I don't know, or you may have missed that podcast that was solely about how TNA was going down, right? So here's how it is. When a release, I got released. That's what they always do to you in this business. You'll be there one day, and the next day you could be gone, and you could have a short run or a very long run. Don't know. But what I can tell you, Mike P is who sent this in. I don't know what his last name is, but it's Mike P. So he's got a good name, Mike. So my release came when it did come the first time. It was in 2010. I got released. And then Terry Taylor brings me back like a month after. This is like true legit story. Like a month after to TV. And I asked him what the deal is. Are you keeping me full time or whatever? And he goes, I don't know what we're at with this. Just work hard for me. And Terry knew I would. And that's what I did. Next thing you know, I'm released a second time in 2010. So yeah, released twice. Came back over the years, did fill-in tapings for about 3 or 4 years straight on different occasions. I was always their go-to guy. Bob Ryder, thank you for that. Because once Terry left the company, I don't know which year Terry left. I stayed in contact with Bob Ryder. Bob Ryder, God rest his soul, rest in peace, my man. I knew him from WCW days. He took care of me. He couldn't get me back on full time, but he got me back in where I could still be relevant enough and help out with indie bookings and all that. You know what I'm saying? People be like, oh, Jamie's still around. And then you get bookings and all that. So good thing. But no, it's a release. I didn't just quit. I'll tell you straight out, Mike, make this real easy for you. Anytime you saw me on the major circuit in this business, I was released. I never walked away from it. WCW, of course, I was released 3 weeks before the company actually shuts down. Everybody thought Eric Bischoff was buying it with Fugent, and I think that's the name of the company. And I was disappointed because I thought they were going on and surviving without me. So it was a big disappointment. Mark Slick Johnson got released as well at that time. And, all the cards fell down, right? We know where they went. But yeah, anytime in this business you saw me there, I got released. I never walked away from it. So there. Good question, though. And I'm glad you're listening now. And go back and listen to our ones in the past. Most of them are marked what we talked about. So maybe you can pick up on them and hear the full stories more in depth instead of just a quick answer to a question. You know, they're really good, informative episodes And down the road, me and Mike on the podcast. Well, yeah, this Mike. We'll touch on it, Mike P. And we'll talk about everything once again. So, just stay tuned and thank you for listening.
Just tell the truth. You was the highest paid referee in TNA, so that's why they got rid of you.
Yeah, well, Mike, I told you, man. Some things you got to keep under wrap. We don't want to start trouble today. Who cares?
$1.3 million a year. The highest paid ref.
Dude, I would have done. No, listen, I'd have done 2 years, and they'd release me. I think I'd be retired somewhere. That's a lot of freaking money at one time, and I'm not stupid with money like that. So, but yeah, good question, my man. It looks like Mike P had a second question in that email. So he must have listened for a while. Maybe he missed TNA's, bro, because this one brings up Omega. So basically, he says, we always hear you talk about past years and the pro wrestling. Is there a reason for that? I would like for you to revisit talk about Omega. I would love to hear more stories of the younger years of the Hardy Boys. Okay. I'm down for that, Mike. What do you say? We just done an all Omega episode 1 week or something?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So Mike P, that's what we'll do. We'll visit the whole Omega era when it started in 1997. Real quick, I'll give you a background, Mike P. If you don't know, you may know this already, but they started out on a trampoline in their backyard, and they'd wrestle for their friends and stuff, right? So when they finally started running armories and different buildings in their area, they made shift the ring on top of a trampoline. That's how they made their first ring. Made out of old pipe and everything. I'm telling you, this is a true story. The ring was bow in the middle. Because I worked some of these shows before they actually got a better ring in 1997, before Thomas Simpson got involved with it, and Thomas and Matt basically ran that thing. It was called New Frontier Wrestling Alliance. My first show I worked for them was in 1995. I think it was September of 1995, and it was at the it was in Carthage, North Carolina, at the Moore County Fairgrounds. And then the month later, they actually ran the fair. 3 nights in a row, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm trying to think. But I think I would always do the Friday show. And if they had Saturday, I would do it. I got to go back and look at my record keeping on this. But I'd always work the Friday show. So I think they worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of that week. And I'd always work the Friday show every year from that year on. And I was part of NFWA and Omega until the very end. Their last show, they were already signed by WWE. January 1999 was their last Omega show. And Shane Helms and Mike Maverick, the serial thrillers, I think it was East Wake High School in North Carolina, they actually beat the Hardy Boys. The Hardy Boys were heels because they'd been seen on WWE TV. And Shane and Mike go over. I refereed this match. Go over and win the tag titles. And they were the baby faces. And that was the last Omega show because the Hardy Boys were full-time with WWE by this point. So we'll go deeper in depth, though. Or deeper in the situation is what I'm trying to say. For this, definitely. I love talking about that stuff. We can go on and on and on and on and on about it today, but being that it's a question podcast only, I'm trying not to. But yeah, absolutely, Mike P. And I don't know where you're from, but thank you for sending in the 2 questions today. Very informative questions, very good questions. I don't think we've had a really bad question yet. So we got a few more questions, Mike.
Okay.
Should we hit the granddaddy of them all questions, I call it, of the week? or save it for last?
I think if it's the one that you just give me like a hand on, save it for last.
Okay, yes. Here's one. Okay, well, this one's kind of Mike. I might let you answer most of this one. I didn't realize this one was in here, but oh god,
Is it that
okay.
bad?
Kind of touches on what we went over earlier about my anger. Last week's podcast seemed really edited. Is there a reason why you had to edit the podcast? Was there a problem with it? It just seems like there was no opening or no closing to it. Okay. A every week listener just wants to know. I also wanted to say, oh, you'll like this, Mike. I agree with Chris Benoit being in the Hall of Fame. It's time to stop looking at the past of his personal life and to give him his flowers for what he has earned. Okay, good comment there. We both agree with you on that. We don't know who sent this, but we both agree with that. At least you didn't shun us. About the edit on the podcast, Mike. Was it edited?
Yeah.
Okay.
James just has a moment in time where it was stuff that we agreed on and everything, but it was a lot of people it would have been a lot of trouble. Like it would have been a lot of good, a lot of bad. But we both agreed on it, and then I tried to stop him a few times, and it just kept going.
Yeah.
It's just a very touchy subject in this time that we're in.
Yes.
I mean, should we give them like a little bit of what you did, or
I'll say this.
we could do it without going into it.
Yeah.
Like we could talk about. So I don't know if we talked about the match. I don't know if the match was on the podcast, but it was kind of starting off to be like about Brody King and MJF when the ref held the match to start it.
Yeah.
I'll say it. It started off being them chanting F Ice. They did it for a good amount of time. The ref held the match. But we edited that and some other parts out because of how some people are on social media and stuff. They're taking it way too far.
Yep.
And we was giving our opinion.
Yep.
And looking back, we was like, well, we don't want to offend too many people. We don't want to make too many people mad, even though some people was wrong about it and some people are right about it.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. We're here to have a good time and stuff, and just like politics and government and stuff. Like for me personally, I don't. We might talk about it here and there, but I don't want to go to it and listen to so many minutes on a podcast or something else. And we just decided that it was probably like the best interest of the podcast at the time to edit that out. So that's what we did, and with what we ended up with, I think it still turned out to be a really good episode.
Yes.
Apologize for like not having like the opening and closing. Like Jay said stuff, but then we had to edit like the middle because me, I like to joke around and stuff, and I kind of made like a joke about the situation but it was like a whole different like way that I was doing it, but it was wasn't nothing serious. I was just joking. It kind of edited a little bit at the middle, so we apologize for that. But like I said, it turned out to be a really good episode, and yeah, I don't know what else to say about that.
All I'll say is, we what started out as supposed to be a small conversation, and it did start out about the bell ringing at the AEW show, right? I was just giving my opinion on that, and I'll give you my opinion on that because that's not a big deal. It really doesn't touch any politics on that or any New Day news, right? So my opinion on that is this: for some reason, I do not believe one bit that even though the referee's online taking credit for holding that match, I believe in my mind that being that it's such a hot topic and it would cause controversy. And we all know the old saying is controversy creates cash, right? That's true to a certain extent. And I think that's what they're trying to do here. And so I believe the truck radioed and told this official, and I can't remember who it was. I don't know their names right off unless somebody tells me. But I do know that I believe the truck was probably the one and the reason why the official held the bell to get all this publicity, right? For a real news item, because real stuff in life also creates a lot of monetary gain. That's a true fact. It's a real subject right now. So the chance that we're given, Mike's already went over that. It's FU ice. They let that ring out long enough, play it up, simmer it. But I believe the truck made that decision. But then on the other hand, I also believe, being that the referee did hold the bell, he went to social media and took credit for that.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to get in the big newsworthy scheme of it all as well, right? And I'm not saying it's wrong or bad, but then what I'm trying to get at here is, my opinion is, I think the truck told him to hold it. The referee's taking full credit on social media for that happening the other week ago, but I'm pretty darn sure that if an official holds the bell too long, they're going to tell you to ring the bell. That's what I'm trying to get at. Long story short, right? Unless things have changed and they let people go in business for themselves and it don't matter no more. If that's the case, I wish you'd done that 20 years ago for me. But it went political route, unfortunately, and that's one thing we do not want to do here on the podcast. And I went my political route and my beliefs, talked really bad about other people's beliefs, and to be quite frankly, on the subject, being that it's a wrestling podcast, it was uncalled for. And that's why it's not there. So if I'd have played it, I've probably been apologizing to you like everybody else has to every week. But being that it wasn't played, I don't have to go back and apologize for anything. So that's another reason I did it, because I didn't have to go out and make a public apology for something that I think I shouldn't have to apologize for. And now that it's not said, I'm not apologizing. So that's long story short. And Mike,
we will apologize about the whole editing. And
the editing of the podcast, yes.
Yeah, we will apologize for that.
Yes. Apologize about the editing of that, not giving you a hello and a bye-bye or whatever you feel like you've missed. But, I have nothing else to apologize for, because that's all we did wrong, right? There's no evidence. It's gone.
But we do agree with you saying about Chris Benoit and everything.
Yes.
He does deserve his flowers.
Yes.
Like I said last week, we don't agree with what he did. Like, we're not for that. As some people, like myself, think it's like a conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
Some people think like he did do it. Some people think he didn't do it.
Yep.
It's just how the big mystery of it all, and it's how, like, if you go looking into it and stuff, it's just weird. Like,
yeah.
Like, do y'all's own research. Y'all can see what I'm talking about. Like, at first I'm thinking, oh, he probably did do it, but now reading up on him and stuff, it just don't line up with everything, right? So, but for the wrestler that he was, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame and everything.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and another thing you guys need to look at here too. Let's say he did do it 100%, right? Here's the problem with that. did you hear the research that they did on his brain? You guys got to think. He had so many concussions. He was not in his right mind. And that's not an excuse for what happened, but it is an excuse for, hearing the good stories about this man, about how he did love his friends and how he did love his family. So you got to put that in consideration, because at the end of the day, he does have another son that has to hear this all the time. He does have other family that has to hear this all the time. And maybe to do the right thing here is let his legacy live on as an accomplishment pro wrestler and a legend, than to look at that one time in life. That's all we're trying to get at as well. So take that in consideration too, that, his son, David, should not have to endure always hearing about how bad his dad was, when the truth is we should talk about his accomplishments and the good father he was to David, and all the championships and all the great years and great matches he gave each and every one of you. So that's all we're saying. We're not saying we defend him in any way for actions that were uncalled for. We're saying we're defending his legacy as a pro wrestler. Yeah. That's a big difference. A big difference,
And I think David should get like a fair opportunity. Like, he's just saying that he wants to be a wrestler and stuff, but nobody's really signed him because of the story of Chris and everything. Which is sad, because if he really wants to do it, he should be able to do his dream.
Yep.
Now, with everything going on, I don't think it's a good idea for him to do what he said about the whole go underneath the ring name as Chris Benoit Jr. Now, if he wants to keep the Benoit name, that's fine with me, but with everything and how everybody else with the Chris Benoit thing, I don't think he should use the Chris Benoit Jr. name. But if he wants to live a dream, then who are we to say, oh, no, he can't do it because of what your dad did?
Right.
Right. So I'm for David to get a fair opportunity if he still wants to do it and stuff. And like I said, and I still say, Chris Benoit needs to go through the whole thing.
Yes, sir. Totally agreed. So, only a couple more questions left, Mike, on today's podcast. So let's see what we got here, my man. We're getting down there to the one that's going to cause all the controversy this week, and I hope we don't have another landslide and have to do some of that so-called editing. So hopefully not. And by the way, guys, I know this is pre-recorded to you. And yes, we could have stopped it at any time. But at the time, it felt right. And after thinking about it later with the right mind, is when it was changed. And the idea was, well, hey, there's still a lot of good content on there. We don't need to get rid of all of it. But maybe we should shave the parts that are bad. And that's what happened. So apologize again for that happening. So the next question, let's see. Guess it's directed towards me. When are you going to, I guess Mike can answer it if he wants. When are we going to see you back with a larger wrestling company? It would be nice to see you in NWA or maybe TNA again. What do you think the chances are of that happening? It says, keep up the good work. I look forward to you answering my question. And apparently this guy is Jake from State Farm. I cannot make this up. So Jake from State Farm sending this question. Well, Jake, I love your commercials if this is really you. If it's just some random dude named Jake and he wanted to give it a tagline, it's a funny one. Or if it's just some person that used that, I don't care. Thank you for sending the question in. It's pretty funny, though. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball in front of me. And I have not been actively talking to any larger wrestling promotion in quite some time. So I really don't know. Would I love to go back Yes, I'd like to have. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm gonna say it. I'd like to have one more run on the larger scale of this business, and NWA is a good match. Hey, I'd be down. TNA, absolutely. I've always been a fan of TNA. When I left there the couple times that I did, I'd hope to always go back. I know management's changed like a dozen times since the last time I was there, but I'd be very open to go back to TNA. But while we're on the subject of larger wrestling companies, I'd be open to going to AEW, WWE. There's another one out there, MLW. I'd be open for that. And don't forget about the new one that me and Mike talk about all the time. We talk about Russo. I'd be open to go to Juggalo Championship Wrestling as well. But, I don't have any timeline. I don't know if it ever happened. It may never happen. But I appreciate you asking that question because maybe it looks like you'd be interested in seeing me there. And I hope a lot of other people feel the same way. But go to our Facebook page, Jamie and Mike's Wrestling Adventures. There's actually a poll up from last week that we're curious out of WWE, TNA, AEW, MLW, and JCW, which is Juggalo Championship Wrestling, not Jersey Championship Wrestling, but Juggalo. Which company would you like to see me in if you had the opportunity to pick that? So go on there, Jake from State Farm, and like it, subscribe to it, subscribe to our YouTube page as well. That's for everybody out there. And let us know where you'd like to see me. Most out of all of them. Let's get that question and poll out there, guys. So there it is. It's on there for you now.
Yeah. My thing is, if it's Jake from State Farm, does that mean a new sponsor for the boys here?
I don't know.
I mean, if it's really Jake from State Farm and he's listening to us.
Yeah.
But no, that's a good question. We actually talked about this, and I think he'd be good in TNA again. NWA, they got a lot of good wrestling right now.
Yeah.
Being there. But, I mean, I don't, with as many referees that they got in WWE and AEW, I don't really see that one.
Yeah.
No offense.
None taken.
Maybe he could talk to the people, maybe WWE, but in NXT, since they're both in Florida.
Yeah.
Like maybe, but like the main roster probably not anymore. But yeah, it'd be good to see him back on TV, taking a couple ref bumps and stuff. So
well, I still got a bump card, baby.
So yeah, it'd be good to see him back on TV. And right now, the only time I get to see him on TV is on Pluto TV when they redo the reruns of the old TNA stuff.
Yeah.
So,
what about the Vault, WWE Vault? Have you caught me on the WCW stuff yet? I've saw myself a few times.
It's been a while since I watched it, but I have seen you up on there a couple times.
But it sucks they took Peacock away because you could actually go to any event that somebody was on and find it right then.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks about that. Unless you got videotapes and stuff, but let's just say it that's dinosaurish now. I got a lot of videotapes. I know you do. But honestly, I'll get around one day to maybe trying to see if any of them are working still, but I haven't had a chance. It's life is so demanding with everything else that we got going on. I don't have enough time to go find a VCR because I don't even have a VCR. And do all that. So, but I wish Peacock was still around, guys, because you could find me on WCW at a click. Very easy. Go to this event. Go to this. That. Bam, bam, bam. Right. But now in the Vault, sometimes you'll come across an event that I had done, and then click on it, and I'll be in there somewhere. But Mike is right about Pluto TV. That more often than not, even I turn it on. And bam, I'm on TNA screen just out of the blue. I'll just be like, oh, what's on there today? I'm right on there as soon as I turn it on. I'm like, this is awesome. It's kind of cool to see yourself like that years later on old stuff. And then you're still relevant in the TV form, may not be in the business form, but in the TV form of it all, you're still relevant. And that's something no one can take away from you. Pictures and video both is something people can't take away from you. But pictures are great because they stand in time. And we look back and think, man, this is a great memory, right? Videos are great when it comes to pro wrestling because you get in the moment watching that spectacular match. Because I go back and watch matches from the late 70s and through the late 80s when I was watching a lot of pro wrestling as a child. And I get excited and goosebumpy still. And that's the way I want you guys to feel that grew up in the era that I was in on TV, to feel the same way. Like, man, I can't wait to go watch this Nitro or Thunder or whatever. Or TNA's show was Impact, right? So, whatever. I'm just saying. It's really cool to be still relevant in the TV form is what I'm trying to get at. So it's really good stuff. So Mike, the granddaddy of them all questions here. I pulled 9 questions out of my emails. 9, because I was a little afraid.
Last one?
Yeah, we're at the last one. I was a little afraid of time
restraints. Go drum roll.
Oh, that's right.
We need a drum roll. We need a drum roll for this one.
We do. So here it goes. Drum roll for the final question of the day. The granddaddy of them all. It's like having Starrcade or WrestleMania. Here it comes. All right, Mike. Are you ready? I know you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
So this question's great. When I got this in the email, I was like, thank God. I looked at emails. Thank God there actually are questions coming in, and thank God it's a good one. Not saying nothing against the rest of them, guys, but this one hits the coup de grace because it's going to hit some buttons here today. Probably on both of us, but maybe on one of us more than the other. But we're going to read it out here, okay? So it's from your favorite person, Mike, in the whole wide world, Anonymous. We don't know if Anonymous is a male, a female, and please don't take this the wrong way, people, a furry. But we do know they're anonymous. So here it goes. Hey, this is the anonymous email. Shouldn't it be emailer? But you said email. I'm back again. Is that a threat? I'm just curious. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that it's not funny. You guys mock me on your podcast about my opinions. Your take on Benoit and other subjects sometimes are very sickening to me. I'm tired of hearing about Vince Russo as well. He is what's wrong with the pro wrestling business. You talk about wrestling companies, but you don't talk about AEW that much. We kind of just talked about them. Anyway, that company is a superior company to any company today. They must be a big AEW fan by I'm taking from this. They probably are part of the chance, Mike. Better watch it. Let's see. How can you have a podcast about wrestling and not talk about the hottest pro wrestling company there is? I don't know why I listen to you guys. Okay, me neither at this point. Let's see. I will probably not listen no more. Anonymous. So let me just say this before you jump in, Mike. The last 2 sentences says it all. We don't understand why you listen at this point. You clearly don't like anything we talk about, or there's subjects that you hate totally on our podcast that upset you. And let me tell you this. The reason you don't hear much about AEW is the same reason you don't hear much about WWE. We talk a lot about the olden days, don't we, Mike? We talk about a lot of my past. Because let me just knock on wood. Let me just knock you in the head a little bit with a little bit of a hammer here. We talk about my past career a lot. We do it deliberately. There you go. Thank you, Mike. We do that deliberately because we talk about my days in the wrestling business a lot more than we do anything else. Okay? So it's nothing intentionally. We don't talk about a lot of wrestling news that's new 90% of the time. We don't even talk about it. So it has nothing to do with AEW. I don't know what your problem is with that comment. Your comment, I'm keeping it here up here for me. I hope you remember everything. If you don't, I'll read it back to you, Mike. And then is it a threat that you're back? Are you threatening this that you're back? Thank you for your email. Really doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. You come on here with, you don't know why you listen, and if this keeps up, you're probably not listening no more. Okay, here's the thing. You don't have to. You don't have to listen to one word that we say. Bye. And talking about Russo again, I happen to think that Russo's product right now on JCW is very entertaining. So, and your Superior Wrestling Company, I'm not going to knock them, but I don't know. I don't know what to go with this, Mike. And then the Benoit stuff, sickening, right? Sickening. I don't know what their problem is with us talking about Benoit. This person hates us for talking about this stuff. See, I'm trying to hold it together. I don't want to say anything too derogatory.
You know, where to start? I don't know how we're mocking what you said. We don't want you to be Mr. or Mrs. Anonymous. You know, I don't. Well, today you wasn't even Mr. or Mrs. You was just anonymous. So we couldn't tell. But it is 2026. I mean, we can't tell half the people these days anymore. But first part was Chris Benoit, right?
Let's see here. So the first part was,
Let's just break it down because this might take a minute.
yeah, Benoit first, then they talk about hating Russo. Yeah.
Okay. Chris Benoit, I know if you was a wrestling fan in WCW and his time in WWE, even when he was in New Japan Pro Wrestling, you was probably a fan of Chris Benoit. Even if you wasn't 100% of his fan, I'm sure you like something about Chris Benoit. Yes, what he did was bad. What he did was terrible. Do I think he really did do it? No, I think it's a conspiracy. Go back and read and look at everything on YouTube and Google and stuff, and I just don't think he did it. I think he was framed. But that's my opinion, and if y'all really want to know more about that, we'll do a whole episode about it if we feel like it. But no matter what, he deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. If he's not up in the Canadian Hall of Fame, he needs to be up in one of them too. Any Hall of Fame any company he was a part of, he needs to be in their Hall of Fame. So at least it's three people on here: me, James, and our other person with the question earlier thinks that Chris Benoit needs to go into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So we talk about it every single week because that's what we believe.
Yeah.
That's just the end of that one for this week. Next part was Vince Russo.
Yeah. They don't like Vinny Roo.
Wait, what's not to like about Vince Russo, bro?
That's right, bro.
I mean, you're gonna make me pull out the bros now. He was the mastermind of the Attitude Era and everything. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame too.
Mm-hmm.
Look what he did for WCW, WWE, and then like the early years of TNA. He's helping them, and then him coming into JCW. Look at it. I wasn't watching that company whatsoever until I first heard about Vince Russo. Now I'm watching it.
Yeah.
It gets a little bit more of a WCW and like an ECW vibe kind of mix.
Yep.
Like if WWE would have did like the invasion angle better when they first bought the company and stuff like that, I think if it had more of this attitude that Vince is doing for JCW, it would have been better for WWE program.
Yeah.
That's just so. Just like all great things, like Vince Russo, everybody's not going to love him. Everybody's not going to hate him. Guess what? Give the man his flowers. He's one of the best people in the pro wrestling business. It
Yeah.
ain't really a corner that you go turn and everything, and his hand's not been up in it.
Right.
You know, so honestly, he needs to go to the WWE Hall of Fame. Um, what's the next part?
See if I got it up here. Hold on a second.
Sorry, it's a lot to this.
And talking about, we don't talk about AEW that much. The Superior Wrestling Company, the hottest, and also the hottest pro wrestling company there is today. Yeah.
That's when they first came into like on scene. Yes, they was the hottest company there is. You had the big stars from New Japan Pro Wrestling coming over. You had the Elite. You had Kenny Omega. You had Page, Young Bucks, the big names at the time coming in to start a new company, and it was supposed to be different, supposed to be whatever. They have a lot of good pieces to it.
Yeah.
Do I think it's the best? No. In my opinion, no. Do I think they're in the top three right now? No. I honestly think TNA, uh, JCW, and then right now, if you do your wrestling stuff, I think NWA is a whole lot better than AEW right now.
Yeah.
NWA just don't have the TV deal.
Right.
I know they're on Roku and stuff like that, but they don't have to be on TV like TNA, WWE, and AEW is. If they was, I guarantee they'd be probably one or two
Yeah.
right now. I just think it's so much better. I saying that they're the hottest thing right now. I do not agree with. Uh, some of the matches, the storylines, I think they're good. Like last night, the heel turn of Swerve onto Kenny, I think it's really good. But it's almost like that match was good, but then you have like Adam Page and MJF running the same story over and over. It's almost like Randy Orton and John Cena in WWE, where um, like it just played it so many times that everybody, and probably yourself, was getting tired of it. And it seems like every other program is Page and MJF. They got great matches, but I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing the same stuff over and over. Uh, like the Young Bucks when they did the little hill run and stuff like that, and then they would do whatever to try to win the people back. I think it helped their character because if not, they would have been the same position of the same stuff, same everything, and I'm just tired of it. Uh, like they do got a lot of good pieces, but it's just the same stuff. They're tag titles, just like WWE. They don't defend them that much. They got one of the AEW, in my opinion, has got one of the best tag team divisions out there. They don't showcase them. Um, what are they trying to do? There for like the slow period of time where TNA wasn't the best, TNA was pushing WWE stars. AEW is doing that too. Like just the same stuff. We don't want to keep watching the same stuff over and over. Give us something fresh and stuff, and maybe we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
So I just think it's not the hottest thing. Uh, like I said, I don't agree with like the awards that they was like the best promotion out there, and I think it's only because the way the WWE handles some things at that one moment of time, right before they did the voting and awards and stuff. It's the only reason that AEW won that because AEW, in my opinion, is not in the top three.
Yeah.
Um, so, but like I said, they got a lot of good moving parts and stuff. So,
I agree.
but I just don't agree that they're there. Like I said, NWA right now, what they're doing is probably pretty high up there. I think if they had a TV deal, they'd be one, maybe two, right there. Uh, but looking online, Maple Leaf Wrestling in Canada, I think it's the same thing. They got some really good wrestling too,
Mm-hmm.
but they're like on YouTube and Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
The parts that I've seen and stuff. Um, NWA, they'll, what else? Uh, JCW. If you go back and watch them, they have a TV deal. They'd be better than AEW in my opinion right now.
Mm-hmm.
So TNA is way better than AEW, but they got that WWE vibe, so that's why they're not higher up on the list for me.
Yeah.
But I love what TNA's doing right now. So
Right.
it is what it is. If you think AEW is the best, good for you. If you think like NWA is other stuff that's not really a TV deal is better, great. I agree with y'all. So, so what's the next part to the question?
Basically, we're talking about that they don't know why they listen anymore, and then they may not listen if things don't change. Basically, it's what they said in the nutshell.
That's right. Um, we here at Jamie Mike's Wrestling Adventures, we support and are so happy that all y'all come every single week and listen to us. We
Yes.
do appreciate y'all. Um, some of the stuff that we talk about, if y'all don't agree with it, that's why we got an email. So y'all can leave questions and comments just like this episode to tell us what y'all do and don't like. And the email is wrestleref123@gmail.com. Um, if you don't like it that much, because we talk about stuff that y'all don't like, okay. Me and James are friends, and I don't like half the stuff that he says. But, uh,
That may be true.
but no, we're here to talk about wrestling. We're here to talk about uh, what's going on in it, independent wrestling. We're here to talk about Cowboy Revolution, the greatest apparel company out there. And if y'all want to buy a hoodie or shirts and stuff, go to cowboyrevolution.com. Use the promo code JBT123 to save 15% off, and it helps support the veterans. We're here to support the veterans because we're big on that. We're big on independent wrestling. We're big on trying to grow the wrestling company. Are we going to go out there and make a big impact? No. But we're making a little bit of an impact where we have enough for at least 10 questions. Well, 9, and then whatever this one is. Uh, we're not all going to agree with whatever. Uh, me and my smoking hot American wife, we don't agree on everything. It's just life, you know. So if y'all do decide to not listen to us anymore. We sorry that we lost y'all, but it's also another podcast out there. It's Before My Head Explodes with Vince Russo. Y'all can listen to. Uh, because I know how much people like Russo, and he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, just like Chris Benoit needs to go into the Hall of Fame. Um, and y'all just happen to not listen anymore, before y'all do leave and y'all listen to this episode, leave a comment and just say bye, and that way we know that y'all are really gone. If y'all happen to stay, leave a comment, say how great we're doing, and then if y'all think we should do something to do a little bit better, tell us. It's not going to hurt us. It's not going to offend us. Uh, so I think we're doing a good job of what we're doing. We're putting out good content of wrestling that kind of matters right now and in the past. And if you're just upset because we don't talk enough about AEW, or we talk a little too much about Chris Benoit and Vince Russo needs to go into the Hall of Fame, well, guess what? It's WrestleMania season. That means it's time for the Hall of Fame. So
Yeah.
right now they only got one person in it, Stephanie McMahon. Do you think her wrestling career was better than Chris Benoit? No. Do you think her backstage stuff that she was doing was better than Vince Russo? No. So they need to go into the Hall of Fame.
True.
Stephanie did good with what she did do there and stuff. Um, I think she's only going to the Hall of Fame because her husband is Triple H. Uh, that's just my opinion. It's like last year, Michelle McCool, a good wrestler, but going into the WWE Hall of Fame, I don't think she goes in there without being the Undertaker's wife. I think it's other females that did a whole lot more
Right. Well,
that deserve to go in there, but that's just my opinion. And I've been saying it since last year, since she went up in there.
well,
So,
I got something to touch on here since we're going that route, right? You're
oh yeah,
talking about the thing about Michelle McCool only going in because of her husband, the Undertaker, being a legend and such in this business, right? And we also talk about um, Stephanie McMahon going in, and then we can also vice versa and say the only reason Triple H got put in is because he married the McMahon into the family, and he runs the company. You know, he helps run it, right? We can always say that too as well. But what is your take? And this is true. This is probably a true statement on both ends of the candle here, burning, right? Nepotism in the pro wrestling business. Third, you know, third generation, second generation wrestlers, fourth generation, whatever we want to say here, right? We know there's been quite a few over the years. The Samoan legacy, you know, all connected with The Rock. Do you think, now this is your honest opinion, do you think if it wasn't for people like The Rock and stuff like that, and let's see, um, Randy Orton's father and grandfather wasn't in the business, do you think he'd have got the same opportunity? Even though he's good, he's very good. But do you think his opportunity was given to him a little easier, but then he had to work for it still? Because I'm not saying he never worked for it. I'm just saying, do you think getting into the business was easier? I'm not saying none of these guys didn't work for it. That's a different ball of wax we don't want to get into here. And then also, like Jarrett, I love Jeff Jarrett's work, but he is a third generation wrestler. And we spoke on this one other time. His grandmother also helped promote professional wrestling. So his family's been in the whole business. Now, with that being said, like I said with Orton, give the example. I gave the Samoan dynasty. I gave that example. Reigns and all of them. Usos, whoever. Do you think that if none of them were related to anybody that they consider a legend in this industry, do you think they would have had a harder time to get in, not to work for it, but to get into the industry.
Yeah. Uh,
Thank you. That's been my whole saying, my whole point over the years.
like Randy, he's good. You can't take nothing away from him.
No, Randy's great.
Uh, just say like his past. If it wasn't for his dad's name, does he even go into the wrestling business? I don't know. Uh, everybody knows like his story about getting kicked out of like the army, military, whatever he was in, and everything. Then where's he going to go from there? You know. So he goes to WWE, and how many drugs that did he get in trouble for? After like the third one, don't you get kicked out? Like, don't you get fired? It's, like people kept getting fired from it, then it just gives him suspicion, and then
Mhm.
just like a little slap on the wrist and stuff. So he should have been
Yep.
gone before he even hit the legend status,
Right.
in my opinion.
Mhm.
But I think it was just because of his dad's name. But I mean, honestly, they could have fired him and bring him back.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy, look how many times he got in trouble and got fired for it. You know.
True, but Jeff's not. The only thing with Jeff Hardy is
Like they both have their demons and stuff. If
No,
one
but-
gets fired for it, Randy should too.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're saying Jeff got fired, Randy should have too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You're right.
I don't want to go into like all the stuff like Jeff did and Randy did and stuff.
Well, me neither. I'm
but
just stating. But you made a valid point there, Mike, and I've seen it firsthand. Well, you know who Ted DiBiase Jr. is?
yeah,
Well, he got a DUI in developmental in Tampa. Do you think he got fired for that?
No.
No. Do you think if I'd have got a DUI the same week, would I got fired?
you could have been in the same car with him,
And got
and you
fired.
probably would have got fired. And
There you go. There you
uh,
go.
uh,
Yeah.
but then like I'm not gonna go too much into the Rock's family and stuff like that.
Yes.
But just a quick thing. Do you think Rock's daughter was that good to be on NXT and then they try to keep her around to be the GM role? No,
No.
they only did because her dad was.
I'm just saying here.
Huh?
On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being terrible and 5 being great, where'd she fall in at?
Maybe. I'm pushing it maybe as a 2. Like she wasn't that good in the ring.
Yeah.
I think she was better as a GM role, but you don't get hired really for that, you know?
Yeah.
But then, like, you got her, which the only reason she's not there right now is because she wanted more money. And since they wasn't going to do it, she just decided to walk away, they said. So, I mean, she still had a job there
Yeah.
if she wanted it. And
And
then the only other example I want to give about the Samoans
Yeah.
is Nia Jax. If she wasn't related to The Rock, do you really think she was going to stay there as long as she did? Or get fired for, like, budget cuts? But I think she was, like, injured at the time, so they just released her, but they brought her back.
Right.
Now she's not doing much on TV. So now
Yeah.
she's getting a nice paycheck. For what? So
Yeah.
I don't think she was ever that good to be there. Like she's okay, like she would have, but no.
Well, you
in my
know,
opinion.
Right. But, I've seen it over the years, so many second and third generation, not talking about ones before I got into the business, but once I got in it, get all these opportunities. And then I'm not saying that the majority of them did not work hard for it. Once they got there, they knew they had to put in the work, but they got their foot in the door a lot easier than most of us would, is what I'm trying to get at. So I'm not trying to talk down on any of them, because a lot of them have turned out to be really good talents. Because is it in their blood? Yeah, maybe. But my point is, again, me working to get a spot on the main roster back in the day versus somebody that's a second or third generation is a big difference. regardless if you're an official or a worker or whatever. It's a lot harder for an individual to work to get in, even with talent, compared to a individual that is what we call a nepo baby, that is pretty much talented, but they get a foot in the door a lot quicker than I would, or you would, or vice. You know what I'm getting at. So my whole thing was how we got there was you were talking about things that rolled over into this kind of conversation. But, do I see anything wrong with these guys and girls getting opportunities that are in families and stuff? Honestly, I don't, because if my family was in the business and had the way to get me in a lot easier than what I got in, I still would have wanted in, even if I got my foot in the door a lot quicker, I would have took it. So, you can't blame them for taking the opportunities. It's just that I feel like to get in, their opportunities are a lot better than mine or yours going after a goal. And so nothing negative here. It's just speaking facts. But that's the way the world goes. So, it's just, I get tired of people, praising people and go, oh, this guy's great. So not all of them are great. We know that. We see it. But there are a lot of good ones. So we can't take that away.
If I go train and I want to go just do one show, how hard is that going to be if I just go in there as myself, or I'll go in there and lie and say, hey, I'm The Rock's cousin. I'm his third cousin on his dad's side. I'm gonna get a better opportunity just saying that I'm related to The Rock than just being myself,
Are we talking about WWE?
Anywhere.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I think they might screen you at WWE. You sure you're related to The Rock?
Yeah, can't you see it?
I'm Samoan. But, yeah. So, what I'm getting at here, guys that would get fired quicker because they didn't have that family lineage. Guys would get opportunities quicker because they'd have that family lineage compared to someone that didn't. But I'm not crapping on them for that. It's not their fault. They're born into a family. If you get the opportunity, we'd all take it. So I don't blame them one bit. But to all the talented ones, 2 thumbs up to each and every one of you. And I'll just name a few right off, and then we can ponder who the rest of them are. But, Randy Orton deserves every bit he got. Doesn't matter. He's from a family, right? Hell, The Rock, just for his mic skills, deserves a friggin' position. He was so good in the Attitude Era, right? I'm trying to think of names here, Mike. They're not coming out as fast as I hope they would. Charlotte Flair, even Tessa Blanchard. We talked about her the other day. She's very, very good. But just their name alone, a lot of them get a quicker opportunity is all we're saying here. We're not saying they're not good. So anyway, let's see here. We touched all the questions today. I think we answered them very, very well.
Yes, I think so. Thanks for the question for if I was thinking about being a pro wrestler. Thank you for about all the little other questions. I thought it was another question that you said you was going to say something. I thought you said there was a question about me joining the Good Brothers or something. You must have misread that one. I am a member of the Good Brothers.
Oh, I was talking about the wrestling question would intertwine with you being a good brother. That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
Now, if there's a chance where I could team up with the Good Brothers, I'm in 100%. I don't care if it's training or not. I will take that opportunity, and I will take the fall if I have to. Just to team up with them, that would be a dream right there.
Listen, you'd still be called the Golden One, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for questions for like James and stuff. Um, thanks for talking about the independent wrestling. Um, Want to know when we're going to go live and stuff. Hopefully we can go live one day after somebody gets a little bit tougher skin. Uh,
Me?
yeah, you.
Oh.
Like I said, we apologize for the editing episode, but you know what y'all do know now about it. I think it turned out really great. Uh, James, we're trying to get him back into the big screen for a major wrestling company. Uh, Maybe WWE, NXT, JCW, Impact, or TNA, NWA. Probably not AEW because you got to do something great to him to be on the show. So, Mr.
You mean,
Anonymous,
according to Anonymous, you
or
have to be a superior.
yeah, and yeah. Oh, sorry, it wasn't Mr. Anonymous or Mrs. Just Anonymous. Um, Thank you for the comment that Chris Benoit needs to go into the Hall of Fame and he needs to get his flowers. We will say that he does deserve that. Uh, I think it turned out to be a really good episode, even though that last one, James thought was going to get underneath my skin a little bit, but we just tell the facts on here. And if Mr. or Mrs. whoever anonymous don't like it, all you gotta do is go to Before My Head Explodes with Vince Russo's podcast and listen to all of his great stories.
That's right.
And then if you got any questions or comments about this episode, send them to WrestleRef123@gmail.com. We do appreciate all the fans out there, especially the ones that have been there since day one. Much love to y'all. And yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Anonymous, if this is the last episode you're going to listen to, it was nice meeting you.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I really did. I hope you enjoyed this episode.
If you didn't, just leave a comment and maybe we could team up with Vince Russo and talk about it together. Just kidding,
That's
we
right.
probably won't. But what a great man he is. So,
You know, I was just thinking though, more back on that question about you wrestling, Mike. What if we got you in a 6-man tag? You're with the Good Brothers.
okay.
6-man tag, the golden one. Honorary member of the Good Brothers, right?
Okay.
Taking on another 6-man team. Do you think that what would be your big move of the night?
Depends on the person. Who am I going against?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm just.
If it's a smaller person, I'll try to do a power bomb. If it's a bigger person, I might just have to just say forget this and just do the dusty elbow.
Okay. Dusty
And
elbow.
then if it's a tag team move, maybe it'd be a triple team move where we do like the Magic Killer and then the Boot of Doom that they do, and just somehow do it all together, make it a really big move. I got it in my head, so I'll talk to my tag team partners about this, and we will make it happen.
Okay, I like it. I like it. You talked about Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes had the cowboy boots on. Remember?
Yep.
He won the big bunkhouse stampede boot. Remember the big golden boot?
Yep.
So when we're talking about the cowboy boot and all that, makes me think of Cowboy Revolution, man. We got to mention Cowboy Revolution before we go. So everyone go to cowboyrevolution.com at checkout. Use code JamieT123. Save that 15% off at checkout. And you also support the veterans when you do that. So it's a win-win for you guys and you also help the veterans. Win-win situation for everyone involved. So, Mike, before we head out on this question podcast episode only, is there anything else that we need to touch base on before we head out the door?
We talk about independent wrestling. Let's talk about the Pure Pro Wrestling in Montville on February 28th with the Boogie Woogie Man going to be there. The Boogie Jam 26.
Okay.
It looks like it's going to be a great show.
Yeah.
They just did the blind tag team in Danville, I think, or Delville. Like that was. It sounded like it was really good. I think they got a show coming up in Halifax or something on this weekend. Go check out their stuff and leave a comment and stuff. If y'all planning on going to the one in Montville, let me know. And who knows, y'all might just have to see the golden one there.
That's right.
And so it sounds like it's going to be a good card. And then go to our Facebook page, Jamie and Mike's Wrestling Adventures. Like James said, there's a poll on there where, like, one of the questions was, which promotion would you like to see them go to if the opportunity happens? We're trying to do like a couple polls on there, and we're going to try to start interacting more with the fans on there. You can post and comment on there as anonymous if you really want to. If not, that's cool too. We really want to hear who y'all are, so we can give y'all a shout out. Like Jake from State Farm, appreciate you. Mike T, appreciate you. Travis, I know there's a couple more I probably forgot because I'm getting up there in age.
Oh, you finally said that. Okay.
Yeah. Definitely not as old as James, but
of course not.
I feel like I'm closing in a little bit. But no, go over there to the Facebook page and like I said, we're up on there. We're trying to interact with people and stuff, and but go to you can watch us on YouTube where we download this, and then y'all can listen to Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Podbean, and like I said, much love to y'all. We appreciate like the ones that's been there since day one when Julia was on here. Yep. We appreciate the ones that if this is your first episode, we appreciate y'all listening. We appreciate the ones that comes in every other week to listen. That's fine too. But we do appreciate y'all. And that's it.
Absolutely. You know, one quick reminder, I'll make it real quick. Mike's talking about independent wrestling shows. He's talking about the Virginia area because that's where he's at. I want to bring up Florida Pro Wrestling. I have some dates here to give you. March 7th, they'll be at BC Billards in Sebring, Florida. That's 248 Pomegranate Avenue in Sebring. Bell time's at 7. The doors open at 6. That is a Saturday night event, of course. You'll also, the next Saturday, March 14th, Florida Pro Wrestling will be at the Circle S Barbecue, Highway 19 in Hudson, Florida. Doors open at 6, bell time at 7 as well. Another Saturday night event. This one I will be at. The March 14th event in Hudson, Florida. Guys, if you're in the area, I will be actually officiating that event. I believe my tag team partner in officiating that night will be none other than Billy Silverman. So that's going to be really cool to get back in the and to share the ring in the evening with Billy. And then March 7th, I already mentioned that. Let's see, March 13th, they will be back. I appeared there in January. They'll be back at Tanner's Lakeside up in Winter Haven. Bell time's at 8 o'clock there on a Friday night. Doors open at 7. Don't forget about that on March the 13th. So there's 3 dates heading out your way. I'll be at the one March 14th. 100% sure I am booked. I'll be there. The other 2, if you have a chance, guys, check it out. Great company, great talent. Now with that, with that being said,
hold on. One thing I forgot. If y'all not up in the area and stuff, tell us about y'all's independent wrestling. We love independent wrestling here. Just
tell us what you watch, who you see.
And then if we can't go out to see them personally, we'll try to find something on YouTube or Facebook and stuff. We want to check it out. So we just want to keep growing. And like I said, we do appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. Mike summed it up there. I have nothing else to add to that. You can't say anything better than that. But I do look forward to our next video cast. As someone had told me it is podcast. If you listen, whatever it may be, tune in. We'll see you next time. And guys, thank you for listening, watching, wherever you're at on all social media platforms. We'll see you next time. Have a great one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.